Hello everyone and welcome to Noodle Journey, your destination for detailed and informative reviews of the instant noodle universe. Today I've got something really interesting from a Taiwanese noodle company called Chung. This is their Village Dry Noodles Basil and Clam flavor. Before we get started, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so I can keep doing these reviews. I've talked before about how I generally have a plan when I go to an Asian market, like I've just learned that something new came out that I want to review, and that's my singular goal in shopping. But I do allow myself one impulse purchase per visit if it's something that really catches my eye. And this pack of noodles from Chung sure did catch my eye. Since Mom's Dry Noodle has been having some distribution problems to the US over the last year or two, my favorite Asian supermarket replaced Mom's shelf space with this brand. And I think this is some really eye-catching packaging, so I figured I'd grab what I thought was the most unique sounding of the flavors they had available. Basil and Clam flavor. This was $12.99 for a 4-pack when I bought it, and I see some sites selling 4-packs for up to $20 if you are looking to find these online. I would check your local H-Mart or other Asian grocery store in person first, though, if you do want to buy these. Now, this is a brand from Taiwan similar to Asha and Mom's Dry Noodle, and so as with most Taiwanese noodles, you can expect these delightfully chewy, air-dried, knife-cut, flat noodles that use minimal ingredients and are paired with a flavorful sauce. Sometimes the sauces can be boring, like with some of Momofuku's bland choices, or they can be life-changingly good, like with Mom's Dry Noodle. I found some info about Chung from an interview the Ramen Raider conducted with them back in 2019, which you can read on his site if you want. But the gist of it is that they started making these noodle products 5 years ago, and they claim to use only natural ingredients with no artificial chemicals, which I think is one of the more important takeaways from that interview. So go read that if you want, but I'm going to get into the ingredients here and get this review going. The sodium content for a single serving here is not awful at 1,045 milligrams, less than half your daily allowance, so you can jazz these up with extra ingredients and not worry too much about the sodium count. All right, and just like other Taiwanese brands, when you cut open this bag, you've got 4 individual packages that look like this with a plastic tray containing your additional ingredients. And then inside one of those packs, you've got these awesome looking air-dried noodles that I was mentioning. They only contain wheat flour, water, and salt. And we've also got a sauce and oil packet and a seasoning packet. Now the sauce packet has a lot of stuff in it, almost too much to talk about without droning on, but it's essentially a soy sauce, sesame oil, and a vegetarian barbecue sauce containing peanut powder, anise, orange peel, various curry spices, and of course basil. And then the seasoning packet is, if you couldn't tell by looking at it already, dried chili flakes. But wait, you may be saying, isn't this supposed to be basil and clam flavor? Where's the clam? So yeah, I didn't notice that till I got home and read the ingredients, but there's no clam in this. They use a spice called 9-story pagoda or 9-layer pagoda, which is Taiwanese basil, in place of clam. And supposedly the combination of that herb plus the other spices and natural ingredients is going to mimic a clam flavor in the sauce while keeping things surprisingly vegetarian. Yeah, I know, that's kind of wild, right? I love clams, so I'm very interested to see how close this tastes to the real thing. It could be good, it could be all wrong, but I love food chemistry like this, so I can't wait to find out. Let me go cook. Okay, here's the noodles, all drained, and they look great. Like, honestly, they look like they were hand cut. They're really impressive looking, and they smell exactly like Taiwanese noodles should smell, which is to say very wheat forward and not much else. Love the way these smell. All right, and so now I'm gonna add the sauce, and then I'm gonna give it a taste, and then after that I will go all in with the chili flakes so I have a pretty thorough review. Okay, and right away I am getting a whiff of that basil and anise. Quite frankly, it smells like pho almost, except in a sauce form. It's gonna be really interesting if that's how it tastes also. Okay, we're all stirred up. Time for a bite, and then the chili flakes will go in. Wow, very interesting. All right, it's time for the chili flakes, but be warned, if you don't take anything else away from this review and you are not comfortable with spicy food, hear me now, this is already spicy. Adding in these chili flakes is going to make it that much spicier. I'll give it a score in a minute, but I am going to put all the chili flakes in so that I know both extremes of this recipe. Okay, one final stir with the chili flakes in. They have a nice peppery aroma to them, about what you expect from pretty much any other dried pepper seed product, kind of close to the crushed red pepper you might buy at the supermarket. All right, time for another bite. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that spice kind of gets you on the back end. Ooh. All right, well, first up, let's talk about these noodles. I could tell from the second I saw them that these noodles were going to be terrific, and they are. I think Taiwanese noodles are just the best. They are very simple ingredients executed perfectly. These have a thick, chewy texture, a very clean wheat flavor profile, just such a great mouthfeel all in all. Like I said before, if you had told me these were handmade, I would have believed you. I mean, hell, for all I know, they might be. Maybe Chung is a small company and somebody is grinding away making these noodles by hand. But either way, 10 out of 10 for the noodles. If you already like Asha or Momofuku's noodles, it's the same idea, great texture. And so let's talk about the spice level, or levels, I guess, because you've got the spicy sauce on its own, and then you've got the added kick from the optional chili flake packet. Now, on its own, the sauce is still a bit spicy. Let's say like a medium heat. It's not crazy hot like Bulldog, but it's not something you'd want to eat if you're completely spice intolerant. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10 score for spiciness without the chili flakes. Now, with the chili flakes, yeah, that does compound the heat a little bit. They don't specify what kind of pepper these came from. As far as pepper flavors go, it's a pretty mild pepper flavor, but they do have quite a kick. Again, it's not getting you anywhere near something like Bulldog, but it's now north of what I would consider to be a medium spice score. So I'm going to call this a 6 out of 10 for the spice if you choose to add the entire dried chili packet. And so let's get into the overall score here and how well the clam flavor is reproduced through the not clam ingredients. Incredibly well. I was really prepared to hate this because honestly, I don't like an abundant amount of anise or basil, but this is an incredibly flavorful sauce. Yes, basil and anise are the two main flavors in it. If you don't like either of those, if you don't like the strong licorice vibe that that's giving off, don't buy this. If you're still with me, beyond the basil and anise flavor, as you're eating this, on the back end, along with the spice, you get this briny, seafoody, earthy clam flavor that I cannot believe is not clam. It's an impressive formulation. I've never had anything like this. I wouldn't know that this wasn't real clam had I not read the ingredients list like 5 times before filming this. The consistency of the sauce is good. You can see that whole packet coated the noodles really well. It's got a slight oiliness to it, so it's a little rich, which I like. The curry spices that were on the label are not really coming through that much, but if you're a fan of Vietnamese pho, you're going to recognize some very familiar flavors in this, and it's almost like a pho broth condensed into a Taiwanese sauce. I wasn't sure what to make of it at first, but I am absolutely going to keep eating this because it's a really cool flavor. The quality of the pepper flakes is all right. I like that there's other chunks of things in here. I think this is basil. Yeah, almost assuredly basil. I would have liked a separate crunchy element incorporated into this. Sesame seeds maybe, crunchy garlic or onion, something like that, but it's not so difficult for me to add on my own. Yeah, the noodles in this are so good, and the flavor of the sauce is so strangely compelling to me that I have to give this an 8 out of 10. I'm really impressed with this, and I might have a new favorite brand that I'm gonna have to marathon someday. Really cool stuff. All right, that was a really interesting and pleasant surprise. Regardless of how you may feel on the flavors in this sauce, the quality of these noodles is phenomenal. And so you may want to check out some of Fu Chung's other flavors. If this sauce doesn't appeal to you, I know I'm definitely going to check out some of Fu Chung's other flavors in the future. If you're an avid fan of clams, you might be disappointed that the clam flavor in here is fake. But if you really like that combination of basil, anise kind of flavoring that I've described, and you're okay with clams or even artificial clam flavor, I think this is worth a try. I hope you're as pleasantly surprised as I am if you try it. Just watch out for that spice level if you can't handle the spicy stuff. So yeah, if you've had these before or decide to give them a try, please let me know in the comments, of course. If you're already familiar with Fu Chung and can recommend one of their other varieties to try next, please let me know that too. I'm signing off for now, and I hope you'll join me for another review next time on Noodle Journey.